This is the Viewing a Chemical Change lab. The purpose of this lab is to identify the indicators of a chemical change. Remember, there are several indicators that will lead you to identify if a chemical change has occurred or if you have just witnessed a physical change. The indicators of a chemical change include change of color and or odor, formation of a precipitate or gas when there was not one to begin with, absorption or release of energy, which you may notice as either a change in temperature or emission of light. For this lab, you will need several pieces of equipment, including a Bunsen burner with tubing attached to your gas valve, a striker and a pair of tongs, as well as a piece of magnesium ribbon. For safety purposes, students must wear goggles at all times. Students should never touch the flame while the Bunsen burner is lit, and also they should not stare directly into the flame once the magnesium piece is inserted. Step 1 and 2 of the procedure direct you to cut a piece of magnesium approximately the size of 1/2 an inch. Once you have cut your piece of magnesium, be sure to record observations as to its appearance. Include things like color, texture, and even odor. Step 3 of the procedure directs you to turn the gas on. Remember to make your valves parallel. Next, use a striker to light the Bunsen burner. With the Bunsen burner on, grasp the piece of magnesium with a pair of tongs. You are now going to hold the magnesium into the hottest part of the flame, which is the tip of the inner blue cone. Once the magnesium ribbon is inserted into the flame, turn your eyes away from the flame. Do not stare directly at it. Once you have observed what happens when the magnesium ribbon is inserted into the flame, place your magnesium ribbon on the countertop. Next, remember to shut your gas off before continuing on with your experiment as you are finished with the Bunsen burner. Lastly, clean up your station by using the dustpan to sweep up the product that you have created. For your analysis and conclusion questions, please be sure to answer incomplete sentences. Here are a few pointers. For question 1, record any indicators of a chemical change that you observed, that is, if you even saw any. Please write down all indicators that were observed. For question 2, identify if the change that you witnessed was an example of a chemical change. In your explanation, please be sure to mention how you knew this was a chemical change. Think about how many indicators were present and how many indicators you would need to classify a change as chemical. For question number 3, was the material at the conclusion of your experiment still magnesium? Think about it. If it were a physical change, would it be magnesium? If it were a chemical change, would it be magnesium? Depending on your answer for the previous questions, you will have a certain answer for question 3. Lastly, during the procedure, one physical change was clearly seen. Identify the step of the procedure that is correlated to a physical change.